Wow, I cannot believe that we are almost halfway through the year. That is insane. And we've got a lot of really good stuff in the gaming world to look forward to for the rest of 2020. But in today's video, I want to go over with you several games coming out to the Nintendo Switch in the month of June 2020 that I think look cool and deserve your attention. So, let's get into it. First up on June 1st, releasing digitally only for $12.99 is a game called Do Not Feed the Monkeys, and it also has a demo available for free on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Do Not Feed the Monkeys is an indie simulation strategy game where you are a member of a secret group tasked with observing the lives of several people through their hacked cameras and webcams. In the game, you will keep an eye on the cameras while you work on your PC, and you are strictly prohibited from interacting with them in any way. But that is where the fun comes in this strange and wacky game. You can interfere, interact, and mess with your quarry in a variety of ways, but at what cost? This looks like a pretty unique and strange game, and I'm actually intrigued by the concept of it. So get ready to experience this unique and quirky game when Do Not Feed the Monkeys releases on June 1st. On June 2nd, coming to us digitally only for $19.99 is a really cool looking game called Liberated. Liberated is a hand-drawn comic book style adventure shooter game where you are in the middle of a revolution. In your adventure in Liberated, you will use hacking, sneaking, puzzle solving, and shooting to make your way through this noir style cyberpunk adventure. One of the things that really struck me about Liberated is the art style. It is this sort of black and white 3D comic book style that just demands your attention and grabs it immediately. So get ready for a revolution when Liberated sneaks its way to the Nintendo Switch on June 2nd. On June 3rd, coming to us digitally only for $4.99 is Awesome P, and there's also going to be a free demo available on the Nintendo Switch eShop. I've talked about the first Awesome P game at least twice on the channel, and it is such a fun retro Game Boy style platformer, and the P is returning for another adventure. In Awesome P2, you will platform your way through 25 difficult levels as you dodge enemies, avoid traps, and try to collect all the coins and gems. Awesome P also features fantastic retro Game Boy inspired graphics and an awesome retro soundtrack. If it is anything like the first game and you are a fan of retro games, the Game Boy, or difficult platformers, then you are in for a treat. So prepare for this awesome retro adventure when Awesome P2 releases on June 3rd. On June 4th, releasing digitally only for $14.99 is a game called Depths of Extinction. Depths of Extinction is a turn-based roguelike tactical RPG where you are exploring a flooded world trying to save humanity from killer machines. In Depth of Extinction, you will build your own story as you explore the world, explore a ton of old and new tactical options including ambushes, action refunds, and stealth positioning. You will put together your squad from a choice of 10 character classes, find and equip 115 different weapons, armor, and items, and fight over 30 enemies from 5 different factions. You don't see very many tactical RPGs that have retro pixel art graphics, so this is cool to see, and the game looks pretty good. Prepare for some tactical RPG roguelike action when Depth of Extinction releases on June 4th. Also on June 4th, coming to us digitally only for $19.99 is a game called The TakeOver. The TakeOver is a badass looking beat 'em up game inspired by the classics like Final Fight and Streets of Rage, but with some modern flair thrown in. The TakeOver features a combo system, fast-paced gameplay, modern HD visuals with full 3D backgrounds, 3 different heroes to choose from, each with their own moves. You have both melee weapons as well as a gun for ranged combat, 1 to 2 player local co-op, and an awesome original soundtrack. I have to admit the TakeOver looks pretty damn cool and fun, especially if you play co-op. I have my eye on this one and it looks like a good candidate for a physical release at some point. So grab a friend and hand them a controller so that you can co-op the TakeOver when it releases on June 4th. On June 5th, coming to us both digitally and physically for $59.99 is The Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds is a huge single-player first-person RPG from Obsidian Entertainment, who was the developer behind Fallout New Vegas. The Outer Worlds is similar to Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4, except it's not quite as open world, but it still has some open world traits to it. Now, I played and beat it on the Xbox One X last year on Game Pass, and I had always planned to play it again on the Switch when the physical version releases. I am very curious how it will run and look on the Switch, and we will find out pretty soon. and when I played it, I had a blast with the game, and I pretty much binge played it. So prepare to explore some worlds and shoot a lot of stuff when The Outer Worlds releases on June 5th. Also on June 5th, releasing both digitally and physically from Nintendo for $39.99 is Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics. Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics is a first-party Nintendo game, and it is a compilation of 51 classic games from around the world. Some of the games included in this package are Mancala, backgammon, checkers, dominoes, chess, blackjack, 4 in a row, golf, darts, Chinese checkers, billiards, bowling, shooting gallery, battle tanks, and much, much more. You can play these games against the computer, or you can play them with friends locally on the Switch screen or on the TV with controllers. You can also play online with friends as well. Each game has detailed guided tutorials to teach you how to play step by step. Now, I've pre-ordered Clubhouse Games and I'm pretty excited for it. It is a good value as you're essentially getting 51 games for $40, so that's basically less than $1 per game that you're paying after tax. So get ready to play a ton of fun games with friends and family when Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics releases on June 5th. On June 6th, coming to us digitally only for $12 is a game called Potata Fairy Flower. Potata Fairy Flower is a 2D adventure puzzle platformer where you are a witch named Potata on a journey to save her village. In Potata, you will experience all the mechanics of a good platformer, but you will also have many puzzles to contend with, enemies to fight, and of course boss battles. The world is full of creatures to meet with their own personality and story as you make friends and enemies and discover a ton of secrets. Now, one thing that struck me about Potata is the art style. It almost looks like a hand-drawn sort of painted art style, and it looks really nice. And you can enjoy this beautiful puzzle platformer when Potata Fairy Flower releases on June 6th. On June 9th, releasing digitally only for $12.99 is a game called Jump King. Jump King is described as a tactical leaping adventure, as it is a challenging platformer where you play a knight trying to jump his way to the top where a smoking hot babe awaits. The jumping mechanic in this game is not like other games, as your jump requires a charge and release, and it is difficult to master. You can only go up, and the higher you go, the more tense things become, as one wrong jump and you will tumble all the way back down. You have to be very patient and plan your jumping path if you are to succeed. Some of the other features of Jump King include classic retro graphics, an original soundtrack, hand-drawn backgrounds, a new Babe Plus mode, and a new chapter called Ghost of the Babe. So if you're looking for a challenging and potentially frustrating platformer, then get ready for Jump King when it releases on June 9th. Also on June 9th, coming to us digitally only for $9.99 is a game called Demon's Tier Plus. Demon's Tier Plus is a roguelike dungeon crawling RPG containing both arcade and adventure elements. Some of the features of Demon's Tier Plus include an epic storyline, 2-player local co-op, 8 different heroes, each with their own stats and abilities, dungeons that are procedurally generated, fantastic retro chiptunes, twin-stick shooting gameplay mechanics, and awesome retro pixel art graphics. This looks like a pretty good cheap game that you can have a fun evening with a friend or family member. So get ready for some twin-stick RPG dungeon crawling roguelike action when Demon's Tier Plus releases on 6/9. On June 11th, releasing digitally only for $14.99 is a really cool looking game called Project Warlock. Holy hell, this game looks badass! Project Warlock is a retro-style first-person shooter game inspired by all the classics such as Doom, Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem, and Hexen, but with some modern-day twists thrown in. In Project Warlock, you take on the role of a warlock who has set out to destroy all the evil as he travels through time and space. There are over 60 huge levels spread across 5 different settings, such as an Antarctic base or Egypt. Within each level there are keys, tons of secrets full of ammo and gold, lifts and hidden buttons for new areas, and of course a crap load of enemies to kill. You will fight everything from flying demons to huge robots and expect plenty of blood and gore here, just like the old school first-person shooter games. In Project Warlock, you will need to dodge attacks and strategize what weapons to use against which enemies as you learn their moves and prepare for the mega bosses. There are 38 different weapon types from guns to blades, and you also have some magic abilities to use as well, and you get upgrade points throughout the game to unlock perks and skills between levels. Project Warlock looks amazing, and it is easily one of my most anticipated games on today's list. So prepare for some old school first person shooter carnage when Project Warlock releases on June 11th. On June 12th, digitally only for $11.99 is a game called Super Toy Cars 2. Super Toy Cars 2 is a fast arcade racer where you race miniature cars at fast speeds across giant tracks full of huge full-size objects. You can race single player or multiplayer on the fun tabletop racetracks. Super Toy Cars 2 also features power-ups along the lines of Mario Kart to destroy your friends, and you can unlock up to 20 different toy cars, each with their own stats. The game also features a career mode that allows you to upgrade your cars. So grab a friend and get ready for some fun arcade racing action when Super Toy Cars 2 releases on June 12th. On June 19th, coming to us both digitally and physically for $49.99 is Burnout Paradise Remastered. Burnout Paradise Remastered is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I have never played this game, but it looks like a blast. Now, I played the hell out of Burnout and Burnout 2 back in the day, and now seems like a good time to get back into the super fast-paced, intense, over-the-top car-wrecking action that is Burnout. Some of the features of Burnout Paradise Remastered includes all 8 post-release DLC, over 130 vehicles, several areas to explore, hundreds of online challenges, 60 FPS optimization, easy map controls. Sadly, there's no local multiplayer, but you can of course race online with up to 4 players total. I'm a huge fan of crazy arcade racing games, and Burnout Paradise certainly seems to fit that genre, and it got great reviews in its original release. I'm definitely going to buy this one, not only because it will be a ton of fun and I love the Burnout series, but also to show EA that people do want their games on the Switch, because for the last several years they have not been very supportive, which is crazy because they're just leaving money on the table. So get ready for some insane over-the-top arcade racing action when Burnout Paradise Remastered releases on the Switch on June 19th. On June 23rd, coming to us both digitally and physically for the low price of $29.99 is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, and I'm very excited about this one. The original SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom on the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox is a classic and underrated hidden gem of a 3D platformer that I absolutely love. As a matter of fact, I did an episode of GameCube Gallery on SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. I encourage you to check it out to learn a lot more about the game. THQ Nordic is bringing back this classic, but this is not just an HD remaster. This is a full-on remake with new graphics and more polished gameplay. But it doesn't just stop there. They also added a new 2-player local or online horde mode, and they added a ton of content that was cut from the original game. As someone who is a fan of the original, I am incredibly excited for this release, and I already have my copy pre-ordered. So prepare for battle, because SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is releasing on June 23rd. Next up on June 30th, releasing both digitally and physically for $59.99 is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3. JRPG fans, get excited because this highly rated JRPG is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Trails of Cold Steel 3 is an epic JRPG in a huge land with awesome characters, an immersive story, and a deep and engaging battle system that has been refined over decades. Now, I have never played a game in this series before, but this is a pretty highly rated JRPG and it looks pretty fun and epic. Prepare for an epic journey when The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 releases on June 30th. Also on June 30th is the last game in today's video, and it is called No Straight Roads. I wasn't able to find a price for this one, and I don't know if it's going to get a physical release, so again, if you know these things, let me know that in the comments down below. No Straight Roads is a game from the designer of Final Fantasy 15, and it is a rhythm action platformer that is being described as part Psychonauts, part Jet Set Radio, and part Space Channel 5, and that sounds like an awesome combination to me. This is a game that is hard to put into words, so I recommend watching the full trailer, which you can find in the sources below, because it looks really good and really fun. It also features 2-player local co-op. I'm very intrigued by No Straight Roads, and it has some serious talent behind it, so I think it will be a quality game. So get ready for some rhythm platforming mayhem when No Straight Roads releases on June 30th. So there you have it, folks. Several awesome Nintendo Switch games coming out in the month of June. Some of the games that I am most anticipated for are Clubhouse Games, Project Warlock, The Outer Worlds, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, and Burnout Paradise Remastered. But I want to know in the comments down below what games in June you're most looking forward to, and also let me know if there's any games coming out in June for the Switch that I missed and should have included in today's video. As always, folks, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing so you can join the Retro Wolf family. And be sure and check out the end card at the end of the video for 2 more awesome videos on the channel that are worth checking out. As always, folks, keep playing games and having a good time, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.